Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Gungans and droids across our beloved empire, and a special welcome to all of our new players coming to Star Wars Galaxy Viewers. We have a video today outlining the top 15 to possibly even 20 new player free-to-play tips to help you maximize the fun you can have in Star Wars Galaxy Viewers. This video is mostly designed for people under level 50 that are new to Galaxy Viewers. So veteran players, you might roll your eyes at some of the advice I'm going to throw out there, but hey, maybe some of this advice is going to be kind of a good wake-up call. Some of these tips might be some things you didn't even know about today, but I want to make sure new players come to Galaxy Viewers, they know how to level up as fast as possible, how to get the most crystals as much as possible, and the most important thing, having fun, because at the end of the day, Star Wars Galaxy Viewers is meant to have fun and you to kind of tailor your experience to your own Star Wars journey. And before we talk about all these tips, we got to talk about our sponsor, Raid Shadow Legends. Ladies and gentlemen, oh gosh, across the galaxy, it's time to talk about our favorite sponsor, Raid Shadow Legends. If you're looking for a mobile game that you can also play on your PC, it's always pushing out new characters, and they're working on big new content as well for the masses to enjoy, you gotta check out Raid Shadow Legends. And while we're talking about this, use the links down below for your PC or mobile device if you also want to collect some amazing champions yourselves. Now, I've been covering Raid Shadow Legends since October 2019, and man, would you look and see how much has changed since then. Mark I Imperial Tactical Scanners, bare bones Star Destroyer, I mean, heck, we didn't even have Beskar armor Crocs back then. And a lot of that is in part to Raid Shadow Legends, and I want to thank them for their unending support to our empire. And just like this channel, we never stand still. Raid Shadow Legends is always on the up and up, constantly pushing out new content. For example, just last month in December, Raid Shadow Legends released their biggest update ever, with the main event being Doom Tower. It's a giant tower with 120 floors, a bunch of secret challenge rooms, and 12 difficult bosses to take on. If you want to get a huge head start in Raid, all you have to do is hit the link in the description, and if you are a new player, you'll get your free Void Champion Bulwark, 50 gems, an XP booster, some energy refills, and even an ancient shard as soon as you get in game. All this treasure will be waiting for you right up here, but you gotta be quick because these rewards are only available for the next 30 days. So we're going to kind of pick up where we left off in the video I did in the top right hand corner, restarting this free-to-play series for 2021. And the first thing I want to talk about out the gate, because this is something a lot of new players fall prone to, is stay focused on one project at a time. And what I mean by this is stay focused to a faction that's going to help you unlock a legendary as fast as possible. There's a few ways to play Galaxy Viewers. If you want to play efficiently and effectively, staying focused on a faction at a time. For example, right now, this isn't going to be the farming guide. We will be putting out a farming guide for 2021, but so far this year, one of the most important things is, if you're a new player, is farm the Phoenix faction first. Ezra, Hera, Chopper, as well as Kanan Jarrus and Zeb. They're a very easy team to access as early as possible. I'm almost 3 days into this new account, and I'm already about to get these characters to 4 stars already. And the reason why I recommend this is because, one, it helps you easily get access to some of your first legendary characters such as Emperor Palpatine and Grand Admiral Thrawn. So stay focused on a faction at a time. But the reason why I put that out there is because if you farm too many things at once, you're spreading your resources too thin, and you're never going to be able to unlock the legendary content that's inside of Galaxy Heroes. But the second thing is, if you don't want to play Galaxy Heroes efficiently and effectively and go down the cookie cutter path that players usually go down, just have fun. Pick something that you love from the Star Wars universe. If you love Jedi, go for Jedi. If you love the First Order, go for First Order. But still, the same advice applies. Stay focused on a project at a time. Don't spread your resources too thin. But how do you actually farm these characters? I know that's kind of the first step we brought out there, but what I recommend doing as you go ahead, you pick the faction you're working on, be sure to bookmark the characters so you don't forget them. They go to the top of your roster so you see them, you remember where they go, and you can easily access their farming node by clicking on their face right down here, and boom, it shows you where you can farm the characters. What I recommend to get access to these characters to farm is make sure you maximize the stars on the light side and dark side battles. A few things. One, as you do these battles, you are going to be able to get experience points, which helps you level up. We'll get to leveling up in a moment here, but furthermore, it gets you access to the characters that you might need to farm. And thirdly, on top of that, what I like about the light side and dark side battles for new players out there is it's a good mechanic to help you realize it's time to go back to your roster and gear up some more characters, because the whole point of Galaxy is leveling up and gearing up characters, and there will be a time where you run into a battle that just might be a little too difficult and you're losing, and that means go back to your roster, level up, gear up your characters a little bit. As for example, I'm right now gearing up my Phoenix, and soon I'm going to farm up my first order team once my Phoenix is completed, and then afterwards you come back, you do the battles, and try to get to the next battle after that. And if you're having a hard time, another pro tip that I have is when you enter these battles, you get to bring an ally with you. And normally if you have no allies whatsoever, you're kind of left with these trash allies that don't really help you get the battle accomplished. So a few things I recommend. One, you can go down to my Discord server. I'll leave a link down below in the video description. There are tons of people that would be more than willing to give you their ally code so you can borrow their ally. For example, I had tons of people for my stream the other day add me as a friend, and I have access to all of these great allies that help me knock out these missions a lot faster, because once you 3-star these missions, which is the goal, you can sim the battles and farm your characters a lot quicker. So that's kind of one of my biggest tips when doing this, and that kind of applies as well to your daily challenges. Make sure you do your daily challenges, especially on Sundays when all the daily challenges unlock, because you're going to get important resources to level up your characters, upgrade their abilities, as well as getting the gear to get the character to the next threshold that helps you, again, unlock the legendary characters in Galaxies. And the same thing applies when you do the daily challenges. You can bring in some allies to help you knock this out. Of course, Mob Enforcer level 1 probably not going to help me, but this Darth Vader is going to be extremely helpful to make sure you 3-star these missions. And this kind of leads us to my next tip here, leveling up. And this kind of, that tip I just gave you, pairs well into this tip right here, because one of the most common questions I got last year as well as this year, the other day I streamed my free-to-play account. How is it you leveled up so fast? I'm in 3 days in this free-to-play account, and I'm already level 35. If you play efficiently with your energy, completing the daily challenges right here, you're going to be able to quickly level up, because you need to level up to unlock the variety of content in Galaxies, access the next gear tier, and of course, accessing some of the most important legendary characters inside of Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. And the most important thing I can recommend is, firstly, making sure you get into Galaxy Heroes every single day, collecting your free energy the several times it resets every single day to get the energy, and completing your daily activities right here, because when you complete your daily activities, you get a variety of important resources for various shipments like the squad arena. You get crystals, and you get big boost of experience points. And then when you collect all of your daily activities, you get another massive boost of experience points. That's probably the most important thing. But the second thing that people sometimes don't realize is, as you're farming characters, as you're completing these light side, dark side battles, or the Cantina battles up here, as you notice, if you scroll all the way to the end, you get experience points for every single time you successfully complete a battle, whether 1, 2, or 3 stars. I'll show you an example right here real quick. We're going to go ahead, refresh the energy. And speaking of refreshing energy, here's a big tip. People ask, what is kind of the good balance when it comes to refreshing energy? And what I recommend is at least do 1 Cantina refresh of energy per day. That's going to be about 100 crystals. And then try to at least get 2 energy refreshes of the normal energy that costs 50 crystals per piece. And let's just farm something random real quick. As you're farming gear for a character, for example, you're going to be getting that experience point that you need. We can't farm anything there that's kind of a little too high up the list. Let's find something a little bit more accessible with the gear. Let's look at Princess Leia, for example. As you farm stuff for characters, let's just get 2 real quick. As you farm stuff for characters, you'll eventually get enough experience points to level up. And I think this one people overlook a lot. So besides just doing your daily activities and getting the experience points that's associated with the daily activities, what's really important is that you also spend as much energy as possible. You get free energy several times a day. Make sure you get in there, collect it, and also manually refresh your energy through the crystals like I just showed you a moment ago, because you're going to get more free energy as you get to a new level, so you can keep farming on top of that. And that is probably the most important thing, because as you see, as you level up, you're gonna be able to unlock new content inside of the game. I think that's a tip that people really overlook a lot. And speaking of collecting your free energy, you get that through the game resetting every single day. And this is a big tip I gave last year. I know we want to have fun in this game, but make sure the game doesn't run your life. You want to run the game. And one of the most important things that even some veteran players might not realize is you can manually reset when your squad arena pays out, which we'll get to in a moment, your fleet arena pays out, and when your daily activities reset. And if you click on this little gear head up here in the top left-hand corner, go over to time settings right here. You can manually change when does the game pay out your squad arena rewards, when does the fleet arena give out their rewards, and most importantly, when does your daily activities reset. So what I recommend is pick a time, whether it's your lunch break, when you're going to work, when you're coming back from work or school, pick a time that you're available. It's not going to interfere with your life, because you want to make sure you climb as high as possible inside a squad arena and inside a fleet arena 1 hour before the payout to maximize your arena climb. So this is probably one of my biggest tips. I already changed it recently for something that works for me, but click on the daily activities and you can pick when does the game reset, and as you see, it respectively changes when your squad arena resets and when your fleet arena resets. So pick a time that works best for you. Don't let the game control your life. You control the game at your own pace. And let's talk about squad arena as well as fleet arena, because this is going to dive into the part about how to maximize your crystal income, because your crystal income should be primarily used for using it on energy, because it helps you farm the characters with it, and also the experience points. You shouldn't be using your crystals for the variety of packs in the game. Stay away from the chromium packs. They are not going to help you. I know it's tempting. Use your limited crystals if you're a free-to-play player for your energy, and one of the biggest ways to get crystals is through squad arena, Galactic War, fleet arena, as well as your daily activities right here. So looking over in squad arena, when you're a brand new player under level 50 in the game, your goal should be to make sure you're climbing to at least the 201 the 500 spot. That's most ideal, but at the minimum you want to stay within this range of 500 to 1000, because why? One, you get 50 crystals, which is enough for one normal energy refresh per day, the yellow energy, and furthermore you get 400 currency of the squad arena tokens. And what that means then is basically every single day, not even including the daily activities from a moment ago, because you got to do several squad arena battles and you'll get even more squad arena currency. But if you at least get the 501 to 1000 every single day, you are guaranteed 10 shards of a character. With the new change that happened last year in 2020, they doubled the shard count in all of the stores. So instead of 5 shards, you are getting 10 shards. So you should be able to farm characters extremely quickly inside of Galaxy of Heroes. And the same thing applies over the squad or a fleet arena. You want to make sure 1 hour up until your payout, you get as active as possible, the climb as high as you can in fleet arena. And really, to be honest, this is actually going to be a side quest point right here. Do not ignore ships. I know most people join Galaxy of Heroes for the character component of Galaxy Heroes, but honestly, if you want to be the most effective free-to-play player possible, you want to work on your ships. And the reason why I say that is if you're a free-to-play player, the chance of you being able to climb to the top of your arena chart is going to be very slim. With the introduction of hyperdrive bundles, it's going to be very difficult, because these people are brand new players as well. They just started a couple days ago, but the reason why they're level 85, they already have Zetas, and they already have high geared characters, is because they spent $100 plus to get the hyperdrive bundle, and they wailed or spent a lot of money to quickly escalate their roster. So they're about already a year plus ahead of me, even though we started at the same exact time a couple days ago. But the good thing is the hyperdrive bundle doesn't really give people a major advantage inside of ships. And furthermore, the ship meta, or the most popular, most powerful teams, are not changing all that drastically. It stays relatively the same, whereas the character meta, or the best teams in the character side of the game, changes very frequently throughout the year. And what all this means is that the best way to get the most crystals possible most likely will not be squad arena for you, unless you're planning on spending a lot of money. It's going to be inside of the ship arena. And probably the best first fleets you could possibly build is either going to be an Akbar, a fleet with some rebels, or Grand Moff Tarkin with your dark side ships such as the Geonosians. Geonosians and Grand Moff Tarkin is a powerful fleet, and furthermore, you kind of want to build some dark side ships, because once you finally get to level 85, you unlock all the ship stuff. You want to make sure you start farming Zetas as fast as possible, and that requires Grand Moff Tarkin and several dark side ships. So if you really want to prepare yourself, get your Grand Moff Tarkin and farm the various dark side ships. But if you're going for Phoenix first, Home One, as well as the Rebel fleet, that's going to be another solid fleet inside of Star Wars Galaxy. There's a lot more too, but these are just overarching advices that I want to put out there. And now moving on to Galactic War. We talked about Squad Arena, Fleet Arena. Galactic War, you unlock at level 40, and it's going to be tough full clearing it at the beginning. Eventually you'll get into a rhythm once you have a good team to work with, where you'll be able to full clear, but just get as far as you possibly can inside of Galactic War, because you're going to get plenty of shards just by doing the battles. You're going to get crystals and other things such as sim tickets, and of course you're going to get the Galactic War currency to farm characters on that table. And this is another point. We talked about basically all the core tables in the game: Cantina, Squad Arena. We talked about light side, dark side, Galactic War, and ships. This kind of goes back to our first point. When you're focused on a project, whether it's Phoenix, First Order, whatever the case might be, make sure that you're farming at least one character on each table. You should be farming at least one Cantina character every single day. If you're not farming a Cantina table character, you better have every single one of those characters already at 7 stars. And same thing applies to Squad Arena. Make sure you're always farming at least one Squad Arena character. Make sure you always have several hard node characters bookmarked. For example, right now, I'm farming First Order Stormtrooper as well as Sabine Wren. Make sure you're always farming a Galactic War character. Make sure you're always farming something out of the fleet shipment. So no matter where you're looking to, make sure you're farming a character no matter where you are, or else you're not maximizing the amount of time you're playing Galaxy of Heroes. And another place where you can farm characters that became more powerful more than ever is going to be Le Bronzium Packs. Now, Bronzium Packs really weren't all that special before, but recently they doubled how many character shards you get out of it, and they also doubled the frequency of how often you can get the characters in here. So you get several free Bronzium Packs every single day. That gives you a variety of gear, training droids, sim tickets, I believe, but also you can get some characters, and a lot of these characters are very good. Boba Fett, Barriss, for example, Old Daka, Paga the Lesser, Count Dooku, Fives, General Veers, and the list goes on and on. There's some useful characters on here that can help you do the variety of stuff in the game, and furthermore, it's just free character shards by not doing anything. And besides getting several free ones a day, you also get these ally points up here, which you can buy for Bronzium Packs. Don't ignore it. You get a lot of free stuff out of there. It's basically the poor man's Chromium Pack inside of Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. Next up here, Guild. Oh, the Guild functionality in this for beginner players is extremely daunting, and it has a lot of problems. And what I mean by that is when you first access Guild, about level 22, if I recall correctly, it automatically throws you in a starter guild that the developers made themselves. But the problem is that as you progress, it kicks you out of that starter guild and throws you into the next starter guild. And the problem with that is these starter guilds generally are not really active players. They're not really semi-serious about the game. And furthermore, when you're trying to do things like the Rancor raid, it kicks you out and you lose all your Rancor raid progress, and it puts you in a brand new guild. So my biggest tip is, although it forces you to join a starter guild, leave that as fast as possible through this button right down here. And as you leave it, look for a new guild. And I have several tips on how to find a better guild to maximize your time in Galaxy Heroes. One, you could try to go ahead and kind of just peruse the guilds that it recommends. And what I recommend, if you're going down this route, again, I try to stay away from starter guilds. They are not good unless you really are not planning on playing Galaxy Heroes semi-seriously. I recommend just picking one of these guilds over here. So what you want to look for is a guild that has a lot of members and a guild that has a decent amount of GP. You really want to try to get into a guild that has at least around 10 million to 20 million. And sometimes you'll find it, and sometimes they'll leave messages in here that might be helpful. So here we go. This has only 5 people. So I really want to find a guild that has something like this. You really want to find a guild that at least has 35 members, 40 preferably, but the closer you get to 50, the better. So this might be a guild I might join on this account, but I have another resource. We have a Discord server, just like how I mentioned. People are more than willing to share their ally code to help you out in those various missions out there. I also have a section on my server for guilds recruiting new players, as well as new players trying to find guilds. As we're speaking, we have guilds posting ads to join their guild. They're asking what they're looking for, but we also have a tab right here, player looking for guilds, that you can click on, where you can post your roster, post how big your roster is, and just kind of, and people will seek you out. So there are a lot of ways to find guilds, whether it's my Discord server, whether it's the forums, the Reddit page, or just following those tips I gave you right here. Just the biggest thing is stay away from the starter guilds and find yourself a decent guild to start working in. And the reason why I say that is because Galaxy Heroes is unplayable without guilds, because you need to be able to get the gear, the important characters that are associated with the variety of raids that are out there. And furthermore, you need to be able to do territory battles. And furthermore, you want to be able to start collecting guild event token currency and just guild store currency in general to farm the characters in the other shipments of the game. You can't see right now because I just left the guilds, but we have the guild store currency right here. You need to be in a guild for that has important characters like Dengar and Ewok Elder inside of there. And also, you'll eventually get the guild event token currency when you start playing some territory battles, and that unlocks at level 65. Guilds are extremely important. Find a good guild, and you're going to meet a lot of fun friends. Some of my best friends I've met through these guilds that I've been playing in over the years. Now, a little minor tip right here. As we said, you should be farming a character in every single shipment inside of Galaxy Heroes. But on top of that, it's a very minor point, but the daily shipments right here, these reset several times a day. And I always recommend buying all the free gear that just requires credits. It's not going to break the bank, and this gear is incredibly helpful as you gear up your characters through the early levels of the gear progression. And 2 more tips on the list today. This one, I don't care if you've been playing for 1 to 2 days or 4 to 5 years. This is incredibly important that I see even veteran players ignore or slack off in, and that is mods. You are eventually going to unlock mods at level 50, and I consider to be mods probably about 20% of your character's viability. Do not ignore mods, and the most important thing is you quickly want to complete your mod battles and do the tier 3 mod challenges once you do unlock them, because you want to make sure you get the 5 dot mods as fast as possible and try to throw away the 1, 2, 3, 4 dot mods until after you get access to those 5 dot mods. And the reason why I point that out is because this is going to be responsible for tons of extra viability and effectiveness of your characters. And I've met a lot of veteran players who ignore mods and their characters just aren't going to be that good. We will be making an updated mod guide and hopefully the next week or 2 here. So we will be going more in depth, but the point being is don't ignore this. Get into it as fast as possible. Complete all the battles just like the light side, dark side battles here. And then quickly get over to mod challenges. And if you don't know where to start with mod challenges, you want to do the speed mod challenges. 7 out of 10 times, speed is going to be the most important thing inside of Galaxy. There's more on that later. And I have one more tip on the list. I've been throwing a lot of stuff at you. How to be most effective, how to level up as fast as possible, getting the most crystal income as much as possible. Really, the most important thing is to have fun inside of Galaxy. The reason why I'm giving you guys this tip right now, because we're gonna have a little bit of real talk from it. I'm gonna be real with you here. The chances of you as a new player right now, especially if you're not going to spend any sort of money, the chance of you ever being super competitive with the people that have been playing for years and spent thousands, tens of thousands of dollars is going to be basically 0. And so the point I'm putting it out there is that you're going to come across people that spend money in the game. Like I showed you in Squad Arena, the chance of you free to play, being able to be competitive up there, it's not going to happen. The chance of you ever going to be able to face off a roster like mine, probably next to impossible. The thing in Galaxy is kind of accepting that you won't be super end game competitive, but just have fun unlocking the stuff in Galaxy Heroes. It's all about that individual journey going through Galaxy Heroes and unlocking some of your favorite characters, and over time you're going to develop lots of great teams. You're going to meet lots of great players, and you're able to tackle a good majority of the content, and especially with character shards being easier to farm more than ever. Again, I've been only playing this new account for 3 days. I'm already putting almost at 4 stars for my Phoenix right here. You're going to find fun. Just you got to make the fun yourself and just farm the stuff that you really enjoy, that makes you love Star Wars. So those are a lot of tips I'm throwing your way. For those who are also watching this video that have been playing for a while, leave some tips down below. What tips would you give new players out there? If you want to share your ally code for people that need allies, feel free to drop it down below. And I'm just going to say this is one of the best gaming communities out there, especially in Star Wars. So if you ever need help, there's help right around the corner for you guys. Like or did enjoy the video, comment down below on all your thoughts, and be sure to subscribe so you're not missing a thing. And as we always say around here, it's great to be in the Empire today.